In 1931, the Japanese Kwantung Army invaded Manchuria under the false claim of Chinese aggression. After taking Harbin, their control spread toward the Russian border, away from global attention. In Harbin, a family lived quietly until war reached them. One day, their son was playing outside when an explosion shook the street. His parents rushed him inside. Later, as he practiced the pipa, strange noises echoed outside. The father entered, and his wife Shifeng, frightened, raised a knife. He calmed her, saying they could resist together. Officials soon stormed in, asked if he was a builder, and when he confirmed, ordered the family to pack their belongings. Elsewhere, scientists celebrated a breakthrough. One man, overjoyed, told his colleagues he had succeeded against all odds.
You have to take a step back here.
No, not now.
Far away, Neil returned home calling for his ex-wife, Elena, and his son, Wiley. Wiley came out of his room and greeted him.
Sorry I didn't make it, dude. I'll be at the next one, though, okay?
Later, Neil and Elena checked a trap in the garage. Wiley joined, asking his father to watch his swimming match.
You can watch the swimming tonight if you want.
At breakfast the next day, Wiley asked about the trap. Neil said the animal was caught. Soon after, he received a text offering full price for his bike.
A guy just made me a full offer on the bike.
Neil later drove with his colleague, Garrison, to a property they had to sell. On the way, Garrison offered a cigarette. Neil refused at first, but eventually smoked.
That's what I'm talking about.
At the property, Garrison's entry code failed, so he told Neil to climb the fence while he made a call.
Let me give him a call. Climb over and get started.
Inside, they found an advanced power grid, far beyond normal office systems. In a classroom, Garrison joked about selling the vintage equipment on eBay.
Selling your bike? Didn't earn your keys back?
Neil wondered if the place had been suddenly abandoned, but Garrison dismissed it, afraid buyers might get spooked.
Buyers don't need to know that. We're putting a shine on this one.
In the lab, tables were overturned and paper scattered. Neil went deeper and saw a strange device. As he stepped closer, visions and voices overwhelmed him without touching it.
I was there.
An unseen force hurled him back. Stunned, he tried to process it, but Garrison laughed, saying he must be high. When Neil stepped outside, Garrison claimed he had been waiting 45 minutes, leaving Neil shaken.
45 minutes. I've been sitting here.
Later, Neil spotted a strange man at a distance before he disappeared. Wanting a memory, Neil took Wiley on a bike ride, recording with Wiley in front.
There you go, nice. I am so glad I brought you a change of clothes. Your mom's gonna kill me.
In the forest, visions returned, scientists arguing in a lab. When Wiley looked back, his face shifted into one of the children Neil had seen. They crashed into a tree, both thrown off. Neil rushed to him and saw his eyes badly injured.
Let me see.
At the hospital, Elena furiously blamed Neil. He said it had been Wiley's wish. The doctor explained Wiley's macula was damaged and a corneal transplant was needed, an expensive procedure.
Do you have catastrophic coverage? No.
After Wiley woke, Elena and Neil cared for him. She told Neil to find more work. He promised to fix everything, planning to sell their boat. Frustrated, he hit the car radio and called Andrew but got no reply. At the office, Garrison asked about mold test results. Neil admitted he had not collected them. Garrison, worried the buyer might back out, told him to hurry, but suggested lunch first.
Let's dip for an early lunch. Right? Then you can head out and grab it.
At lunch, Neil spoke about the accident and asked for more shifts to cover surgery. Garrison agreed, telling him not to let Elena punish him for past mistakes.
So if Elena wants to still crucify you, why are you gonna help her hammer in the nails?
That evening, Neil joined Elena and Wiley at dinner. While joking with Wiley, Elena asked if he had spoken to Andrew. Neil said it went to voicemail.
It was his voicemail.
As he and Wiley laughed over words, Elena grew upset and left. When Neil touched Wiley, he saw visions of a boy harassed in a camp.
Why are we Maruda?
He followed Elena, who angrily reminded him Wiley had only 3 weeks before going blind. As she left, Neil grabbed her hand and saw a woman scientist.
I know you love your perfect equations.
He explained the visions began after his last inspection and caused the crash. She told him to fix it and walked away.
You have to believe me.
I
Lena.
have never needed to believe you more than right now.
Andrew later called saying he was busy. Neil asked to cash out their half of the boat. Andrew explained he and his wife Naomi were leaving town, suggesting they meet instead.
We could dip down and see you instead.
Neil agreed. At home, Elena kept snapping. When Neil mentioned Naomi, she grew jealous. Touching her triggered the scientist's vision.
That
You did this.
Neil gave Wiley a music disc and sent him off with Elena. Outside, he saw the same car, the masked man from the inspection site inside. Andrew and Naomi visited. Naomi mentioned a recent incident and asked about Wiley and Elena. Neil said they were at Elena's mother's.
Well, they're visiting her mom. They had it planned for a while, so...
Garrison arrived, and later they went to karaoke. He told Naomi he had known Neil since high school, skipped college, and worked. Sending Neil to the stage, he chatted with Naomi, asking about journalism, enemies, and children. She admitted harsh critics had driven them here, and they had none.
Pretty harsh critics show up at my office.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
On stage, Neil had another vision. When Garrison touched him, Neil panicked. They fought and fell. Garrison stormed off, calling him insane. Neil apologized as Naomi and Andrew ran over. He confessed about the visions, explaining Elena left with Wiley because of them. He led them to the inspection site for the mold test. Naomi joined him. Andrew stayed outside.
What was this place?
Don't really know.
Inside, Naomi was amazed and wanted to write an article. As Neil neared the device, his battery in Naomi's phone died. She lit a lighter while Neil collected samples. Naomi suddenly had visions, screamed "Shuyi," and collapsed. Neil touched her and saw a woman.
Don't shoot me like that!
Naomi!
She woke disoriented. Outside, Andrew said they had been gone an hour. Naomi recalled little. They dropped Neil home. He apologized and they left for their hotel. Neil saw the same car, photographed the plate, and went inside. The masked man was waiting.
I know who you are. That you've been inside.
The stranger said he knew Neil, had been inside, and had seen him. Horrified, Neil ordered him out. At the office, Neil researched the site. Garrison arrived. Neil apologized, saying tests showed mold.
Stocky botrytis. Black mold, the same kind that can cause brain damage.
Garrison dismissed it, saying repairs would fix it. Neil insisted they had been exposed to something causing his behavior. Garrison snapped, telling Neil to focus on his son. As Neil handed him the files, both saw a vision of a man in a camp trying to escape soldiers. Neil suggested the site was linked to 731, but Garrison dismissed it and told him to get it together. Meanwhile, Elena told her mother she felt guilty for wishing someone would die so Wiley could get a donor. Neil visited, saying Andrew and Naomi had left and the boat was valuable.
Worth a decent chunk now.
That's some good news.
Elena pressed him about the accident, and they argued over his recklessness. When her mother brought Wiley in, Neil hugged him and saw a boy in a camp separated from his parents. Soldiers screaming, "Shuyi!" Neil yelled at Wiley, asking how he knew the word. Elena calmed him, insisting Wiley said nothing, and took him away.
Say goodnight to Dad.
Night, Dad.
At Neil's workplace, Naomi came looking but met Garrison. When she said she would find Neil, Garrison mentioned the accident. As she left, they shared a vision of a couple in the camp. Soldiers burning the wife's arms. Naomi collapsed, then awoke as they called 911. Garrison asked if Neil had taken her to the building. She left silently. Neil later searched Shuyi and learned it meant plague. Seeing a car, he thought it was the masked man. Approaching, he saw a woman trying to save her child until Naomi's voice cut in, yelling it was her.
It's me! It's Naomi!
Neil apologized, and inside, Naomi admitted she had visions and seizures. He explained the site was a particle collider, and he had unknowingly taken her there. Andrew arrived, furious, saying Neil ruined their lives and had sold the boat cheaply. Neil lashed out. Andrew punched him.
Andrew, stop! Enough! Okay, enough!
Naomi broke it up. Touching Neil, she shared another vision of the camp boy. Neil realized touch triggered visions and asked again, but she refused, fearing seizures. She confirmed the word meant plague.
Yeah, you know what that symbol means?
Of course not, you're scaring me!
It means plague.
Neil and Naomi researched 731, learning it was a Japanese camp in northeast China. They found a general's photo. Neil said he had seen him with Garrison and admitted he kept seeing the same woman in Naomi.
So if we can find him or maybe something about what they were working on, we can get some answers.
Naomi planned to leave, but Neil urged her to stay, saying her research skills were vital. As she left, he mentioned he had the license plate of the man following him.
Maybe we can find the registration.
Meanwhile, Garrison met Elena. She asked if he had been with Neil and his friends. Distraught, she confessed her fear, spoke of Wiley's fading vision, and begged him not to take Neil's job, their only hope.
I understand how you must feel.
No, you don't. You don't have kids.
Wiley entered, and Elena told him to greet Garrison. When Garrison touched him, he saw the boy crying with his father, soldiers returning the mother with burned hands, and the man apologizing. Garrison muttered, "I brought this on you," then promised to help. Elena asked if he saw what Neil claimed. He denied it and left.
I would like to help out however I can.
Are you seeing what Neil's been talking about?
Neil and Naomi traced the license plate but found it expired. Neil suggested her father. She resisted but agreed. They gave him a name, but he said the man had died in 1978 and the file was inaccessible. The plate, however, matched someone from the same project, giving them an address.
We think that something might have happened there, that might rule out a new build, so.
At the office, Garrison assured buyers everything was fine. On the way, Neil apologized for a past accident. Naomi said she held no grudge, though her father disliked him.
If I wasn't over what happened then, why would I be here now?
Naomi researched Indra's net, where jeweled points reflect each other, believing the Vision people were connected this way. At the house, Neil broke in and found a board linking the Vision people and a sketch of himself. Outside, Naomi hid from the same car. Inside, Neil was tased, seeing scientists killed in an explosion. The man woke him, asking if he saw it. Naomi rushed in. Neil took the taser and interrogated him.
What was the Indra project, huh?
The man said the object accessed time periods and revealed Neil was Tobin, a scientist from 1978, destined to fix the mistake. Holding Neil's hand, he showed scientists dying, the blast caused by their approval. He explained Neil was tied to 731 through someone there. Naomi pressed. He said one soul had many forms, and she and Neil shared visions because they were linked. Asked about the woman, he said she was a mother with an unborn child who wanted his commitment, but he failed her.
The mother of your unborn child. All she asked was for your commitment.
At home, Garrison visited Elena. Police arrived after neighbors reported an altercation. Upset, she refused his suggestion to file for the house. Naomi later asked if they were meant to change those fates. Driving, she and Neil crashed, seeing the 731 family watch the father's execution. They survived with minor injuries. Naomi asked about the woman. Neil admitted he saw her in Elena. Naomi confessed her fear of having children. They met Wiley's doctor. Neil asked to test as a donor match. She refused harming a living donor, but he insisted on testing.
If I'm not well, I need to know that my son has options.
Back home, Elena said they were leaving. Garrison added they no longer felt safe. Neil fought him, and both shared a vision of the 731 father fighting the general. Naomi took Elena and Wiley away as Garrison locked Neil out and called 911. Elena asked Naomi to explain. Naomi admitted the visions were real. She saw them too and brought them to the scientist. Meanwhile, Neil retrieved files, then grew angry after a doctor's call left him helpless. When the scientist greeted Elena, he saw Panama and the pregnant woman. Elena wanted to leave, but Naomi urged her to listen.
Just listen to him.
Elena asked why 731. He explained no survivors remained and governments avoided altering timelines. Naomi revealed Neil had tested as Wiley's donor, hurting him only to heal him. The man said actions vibrated through time. Asked if they could change the past, he said their answer lay in 1978. Neil gave the file to buyers. Garrison demanded it back, but Neil told him to come in an hour. At the site, Neil threw the report near the object. Garrison picked it up as Naomi arrived with Elena, Wiley, and the scientist, telling Elena if no donor existed, the answer was here.
If there's no donor out there, the chance that you have to change Wiley's future is in here.
Neil rammed Garrison with his bike. Garrison tried to shoot, but both crashed into the object. Naomi tended him while the scientist guided Elena on the controls. Wiley called Garrison father, transforming him into the 731 father, Naomi the mother, and Neil the soldier. This time, the father fought back and saved his family, while the soldier, Neil, died in their place.
Forgive me.
In 1978, Tobin refused the dangerous radiation, preventing the explosion.
No. You're right. Power's down.
Years later, Naomi interviewed the boy who survived 7/31 in China, with her daughter translating. Wiley returned to swimming, his vision restored.